Hi guys, today I'm cooking a quick bean burger. Obviously you can soak beans overnight, but for convenience and quickness I'm going to use a tin of kidney beans. You can use any bean you like, this depends on your preference or what you have in the pantry, but I think it's so handy to have a selection of beans and pulses and tins in your pantry, whether you're vegan or not. They're so handy to go to when you need to make a quick meal. These are just a few that I have, and I like to refer to them as vegan comfort food, but I like kidney beans and I'm going to do like a spicy coated burger, so yeah, that's what I've chosen today. I'm also making some potato and parsnip wedges, and I've partially boiled them so they can go in the oven and start cooking. I'm going to prepare these now and get them on the roasting tray so they can be ready to go in the oven, and then we'll crack them with the burger. Here's the wedges. They've just been lightly cooked, so they're not cooked all the way through. I've sprayed them with a 1-cal spray. You don't actually need to do that, you can just put it straight on the tray. Just do it according to your preference. I'm going to add, well, I've already added some Himalayan salt, which I'm running out of. I'm going to add some smoked paprika. And just a few chili flakes. Let's mix that through. Then it's just a matter of laying it onto the tray and you're good to go. And because these are already partially cooked, they'll take no time at all. So what I'm going to do is leave these to one side. I'm not going to put them in the oven yet because I need to, once I've made the mixture up for the bean burgers, I need to let the mixture chill slightly. That just helps it hold its shape, so I won't put these on straight away so they cook at the same time. So those are done, and put them to one side. They're good to go. So now we are back to the kidney beans, and all you do is drain a tin of kidney beans like so, pop it in your mixing bowl, I'm going to take a few out, I'll explain why in a moment. And all you're simply going to do is take whichever utensil you've got and just mulch them. I picked up a potato masher recently, but I'm known to use forks, rolling pins, glasses, whatever comes to hand. So all you're doing is mulching this down. And you're not trying to make a paste, so you just want a nice texture throughout. And as you can see, it's its own glue. It holds together, so most of the work's already done for you. It's like a very dense, thick mashed potato. Right, so that's done. Sorry about all the noise. Okay, that's fine for me. It's a nice thick paste. So what I'm going to do is add the rest of the kidney beans back into the mixture. I'm just going to mash them lightly. But it's very important in these burgers that it's got a bit of texture to it. There's nothing worse than biting into a burger and it's just, ugh. The texture adds to the experience and the taste of it. So what I'm going to do is put this to one side. And now you can start adding, oh, excuse me, start adding your other ingredients. You can use a food processor to chop the onions. I've actually got a mini one, but sometimes when you chop the onions in them, it brings out a lot of the liquid, which can sometimes make the burger a bit too moist for what you want. Okay, so you've got all our textures there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add chopped garlic. I've got about 2 cloves here, but I love garlic, so you add as much or as little as you want. Eliminate it if you don't like it. Then I've got some chopped shallots. I'll show you the plate. So yeah, we've got the chopped shallots, chilies. These are for once the burger's cooked. Well, that's thyme, so the thyme's going in. That's dried thyme. Then we've got some coriander. The chopped chilies. Add as much or as little as you like, but it's nice to have a bit of flavour and depth to these, so a little goes a long way. Then we've got the shallots. Now I'm going to give these a light mix through, because it helps you to gauge if you need to add anything more or if you've got too much. Or so already we've introduced quite a bit of flavour to the burger. So far you've got the thyme, the onions, coriander and the chilli. Now in terms of spices, you add whatever the hell you please. Want to give it a bit more of a kick, so we've got some dried chilli. And with most herbs, they taste different dried than from fresh, so you can bring different elements to a meal. You can use fresh and dried and it can be completely different tasting. I like the taste of garam masala in this, so I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, that's not 1/4, but hey. You know what I'm like, you just chuck it in, and the thing about this, it's got no dairy in and no meat in there, so you can just tweak it as you go along. This is your bog standard paprika. About 1/4 teaspoon. And then you know my favourite, smoked paprika. About 1/2 teaspoon. Maybe more. I'm going to add some salt. Add as little or as much as you want. Then we've got some oregano. And it looks like I'm just throwing it in, but once you start doing it for yourself, you kind of know how much or how little you want to add. This is some garlic powder. And it just helps to get the flavour into the burger a bit more. You've got the fresh garlic, which works well, but this helps get it all throughout the burger and gives a slightly different taste. So we're going to mix that through. And you're welcome at any point to taste this to see if you want to add a bit more or if it's fine. And we're not trying to mash the mixture anymore. Now we're simply incorporating the flavour throughout. As I've said, you can add as little or as much as you want. I'm actually trying to be quick for once, but you know what I'm like. Another way of gauging your food is actually to smell it. It can help you work out if it tastes how you want it to taste. I think I'm going to spice this up a little, just to annoy my son. You know I put this in everything. You can get this from all the supermarkets now. If you go to like the world section. And tomato ketchup and like pepper sauces, use them as a seasoning. You'll be amazed how much flavour it can actually bring to the meal. I'm going to add a bit more chilli. I'm quite lucky, my son's used to having a bit of spice in his food, so it doesn't bother him. As long as it's not too far, he's happy to eat it. Okay, Now that is perfect for me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let it sit in the freezer for just 2 minutes. It just helps firm it up for when you're shaping it to cook it. You can cook it in the oven, but I want a bit of a crisp edge to it, so I'm actually going to fry it. But let me put this to chill, and I'm going to put the potato chips or wedges in the oven and get everything else ready. Hi guys, I've got the burger mix out. You can't really tell, but it's cold. So all I'm going to do is take my knife, make a mark down the middle. That way I know the mixture's split in two. It might help if I actually turn the fire underneath the pan on. You want it on a medium heat because you don't want it, obviously nothing needs to be cooked, but what you're doing is heating the burger through and creating a nice coating. So I've got my panko crumbs ready and my mixture. So what I'm going to do, these mixtures tend to stick to your hands, so I'm going to take a bit of cooking oil and just rub it on my hands, and that way it will help the burger stay as a burger and not on my hands. I don't actually think I've split that equally. So all you do is scoop out the mixture, and all you're going to do is shape it. See, look. Oh, my hand's not massive on the screen. And you don't want to handle it too much, but you just want to get a shape. And it's that easy. All you do is plop it in the panko breadcrumbs, flip it over, and then just get it on the sides as well. You can't actually see what I'm doing, can you? So yeah, I've coated it, and now I'm just continuing to shape it and to get the breadcrumbs on the side. The more you handle them, the more chance they've got of falling apart, so you need to minimise how much you play with them. I'm just going to prepare the second one. Put a little more of the breadcrumbs on the plate. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of oil to the pan. You don't need a lot, it's a non-stick pan, so it's just a matter of, you don't actually need it, it's habit. But I just want a nice crispy coating. Okay, so I'm just doing the second one. And if you're doing a few burgers, just reapply the oil to your hands, because it does go. Right, this is massive compared to the other one. I think this is Mummy's burger. And the thinner you make it, the quicker it cooks through. Or warms through, should I say. So I'm just going to put that in the breadcrumbs. Flip it over. Just press them in. I tasted the mixture before it went in the freezer, and it's really nice. It's got the right level of spice to it, but it's still got depth as well. It's a bit boring to just have a burger that just tastes of kidney beans. You might as well just eat it straight out the tin. It's so easy to get just a bit of flavour into what you're making and then make it more enjoyable. Right, I'm playing with this too much, so I'm going to get this in the pan. And I'm going to do the same for the other one. And these are so easy to freeze. You'd freeze them before you cook them. You wouldn't cook them and freeze them. And all you do is you put them on greaseproof paper and just line them top and bottom. Put them in the freezer. Job done. It's quite handy to actually make extra. Then you know you've always got them in the freezer should you fancy them. So now all we're doing is simply warming it through and creating a crispy coating. I'm going to stop the camera because it'd be boring you just watching burgers cook, and I'll turn it back on once I'm ready to flip it over. And you're just flipping it over once it's nice and golden on the other side. The wedges are coming along nicely. I've managed to get my timings perfectly, so by the time the burgers are ready, these will be perfect and crisp. Yay! Okay, these bad boys are ready to turn over now. This is the point where I usually break them in half, trying to flip them over. I need to get a new spatula, but I haven't got around to it yet. So, here we go. And ready? Yay! And at this point, they can still lose their shape, so you still need to be careful. And now the baby one. Hey! So I'm just going to let these cook on the other side for a few minutes until they're brown. And then we're ready to warm the burger buns, get the wedges out the oven and plate up. Hi guys, burgers are done, wedges are done, buns are warmed through. Because I like to play my food so much, I've actually sprayed a bit of this truffle oil from Lidl on the tops of the burger buns and put them in the frying pan to continue toasting. I'll turn the heat off underneath it so that will just keep them warm. Here I've got a homemade burger sauce. This is made from vegan mayo and sriracha sauce, and the black bits on top of it are actually black garlic. And all it is garlic that has been smoked until it has like a toffee-like texture and a sweet taste. And it just adds a dimension to the burger. So all I'm going to do is take some of that, spread it on the base of the burger, like so. And you can put these things on in whichever way you want to. I just like to play with it. And you don't want a dry burger, so this is great to just soften it a little. Next I'm going to add some chopped fresh lettuce. Would help if it went in the bun. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but it's so windy outside, which is the reason I've refused to leave my house today. Now we're going to pop the burgers on top of the buns. You still need to be careful with these because they can fall apart. Then I'm going to add the cheese that I showed you earlier on, the vegan cheese. I need to stop saying vegan. Everything I cook is vegan. It's just out of habit. You can put these in the oven if you want the cheese to melt a lot more, but I can't be bothered. Then I'm going to put on some tomatoes. These are baby plum tomatoes. I'm coming to the end of, you know when you've done a shot but you're coming to the end of it and you're just using what's left before you do another shot? So I need to get back down the market and get my stuff for my smoothies and get some more veg in. Okay, and then I'm going to put some thinly sliced red onions on top. If you want to, you can actually fry them. Then, for extra crisp, and because I've got to use them up, these are alfalfa sprouts. Just going to plop on the top. These got a really nice taste and texture. My son loves them, and they're really good for you. Just Turn off the oven before my chips burn. Then we are going to put some gherkins on top. Oops, that's gone. The baby loves them, so I just put extra on. Then we're going to attempt to put the burger bun on top. Nice and crispy, hint of flavour. And because I can't help myself, and because these burgers are massive, I'm going to stick a cocktail stick in and a gherkin on top. Can you tell I like playing with my food a lot? Gherkin, a cocktail stick. What I'm going to do, because I like a lot of sauce on my burger, I'm going to take the last of the burger sauce, just put on the top of my bun. Plop that on top. Job done. Who says you can't have burgers on a Sunday, hey? Okay, now I'm going to... I don't know if you can hear me when I walk away from the camera. Now I'm going to get the wedges out of the oven. So I need to turn off the camera to move it. Plate those up and then job done. Be one moment. Here are my little bad boys. Now to plate up because the tray's burning my hand. There we have it, guy.